Hello and welcome to what is now part 8 of me building my R2D2. Now if you've been keeping up with this, I didn't do anything last weekend because last weekend I went to a convention where I didn't unfortunately get to take R2, but I did take a number of other droids and we had a really good weekend, and that was at Newark in the UK. So I'm going to try and get back on with it today. My plan this weekend is, can I have another look at the dome again and maybe try and get making a control electronics board for the inside of the body so it's nice and secure, so we can see if we can get the dome turning and get it actually driving in a more secure way, ready for the rest of the greeblies and then eventually weathering over the next few weeks. So I haven't done any work actually on R2 this past 2 weeks since the last video that I released, but I did decide to have a go at carbon fibre printing because I wasn't happy with the last 2 domes. I could fix them, I could bodge them and filler and sand and etc. and probably get them to an okay standard, but I thought for the price of just over a roll of filament I'd give a carbon fibre a go. So I bought a couple of rolls from Amazon, not Bamboo, because they're on a flash sale. I put the filament into my AMS, loaded it up, got the right settings, pressed go, and Bamboo Studio said no, don't put it in your AMS. It's like, fine, just continue anyway. And it was like, no, you've got the wrong nozzle. So I decided to buy the hardened steel gears and the hardened steel nozzle and change my P1P. So the reason I went with my P1P rather than P1S is because it didn't want to use the AMS, and I don't want to faff with the AMS and plumb all the PTFE tubing. So I thought I'll just use my P1P, but I've still stuck to just using one printer, so I've not used them simultaneously to try and just show again the timing involved. So I ordered my new nozzle, ordered the new gears, the gears swapped over quite easily. I was going to do a video on it, but I found one on YouTube that is really good, so there's no point me recreating it. I'll just post a link to that one below. Then I came to extract the nozzle. I've done nozzles before, but this time I could not get the thermistor out of the existing hot end, so I had to then order some more. So again, that's now a few days later. I finally managed to get it all assembled and start printing. So on the bench behind me is most of the panels. Well, it's all of the dome itself and a few of the pies. It's not all of the actual other panels. But I've also unfortunately had quite a lot of spaghetti while I've been making this. I've had a few where they've just fallen over and caused a bit of a domino effect. That's because I've been taking my eye off it while printing. Probably just not enough kind of glue stick on the bed, especially with it being my P1P out in the open, and it's quite cold in this room overnight, so that could have caused some of the problems. Anyway, so I'm going to go over to the bench and start assembling and see where I get to today. Okay, so let's just test the lower ring. So I'm not gluing at the moment. Okay, they seem to clip together all right, but I'll clip and glue these later today. So I've already recorded myself, I think possibly once, maybe even twice, cutting these, I forgot what they're called, but cutting these little bits off, so I'm not going to film this time. I'm just going to kind of get on with trimming them back and then seeing if it all aligns properly. Okay, so that's them cleared up, I think. I could do a bit of a sanding, but I'll see if they're all fitting properly first. Now I just need to remember what order and sequence they go in. So I've just used my other dome as reference since I actually numbered these ones. So I think they're in the right order. Okay, after a bit of clean up around various edges, it just seems to now be sort of dry fit together. Obviously not glued it just yet. I just want to do a dry fit and make sure everything was sitting flush. And then I'm going to have a play about with the top half as well. So I might just clamp this even without glue, just to sort of make sure it's holding its shape before I try and put the top half on. Okay, so the first bit's fitting nice and flush, which is unusual for what I've seen so far. The other thing I've done is because I had so many little problems, I did print with just a few little tree supports just to sort of make it secure and stop the little ripping I was getting or the falling over, because I'd tried it with a brim. I basically tried with the brim before, and that had messed up these little grooves, which is why I think I had some problems with the other dome. But yeah, I just thought I'd try some tree supports, see how it went, and they seems to have printed absolutely fine now. Okay, so I've got a dry fit. It seems to be pretty nice together. There's a few gaps which I think might squeeze together, but I think what we need to do is go and get some proper replacement of clamps, because as I squeeze together it seems to be okay. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with the print quality of this one. As long as I can squeeze together in the right place while I glue it, it should be fine. But that means now going out and finding some clamps, because I seem to have run out. I've only got these sort of things, and they're just not right. I need something that's got to clamp down each bit and do it a small section at a time and make sure it's all straight before bringing it together. I think I've just probably rushed it in the past, so the fault absolutely lies with me and some print imperfections. Hello, this is future me talking. So at that point I went to the shops, tried to get some quick clamps, couldn't find any. Most shops sold out. They only got the big heavy duty things that I don't think was appropriate for this project. I was also now tired. I didn't really want to go about filming, so I basically retired to my other room where I did do some gluing, but I didn't film it. I just took some photographs. And then I used my little guitar amp to weigh the whole thing down while it was gluing, and I've just left it overnight. Okay, so for this bit I've just got the lower ring, I'm just lining it up, and there's basically some little circular holes, not the blocks, little circular holes where you can put some M3 bolts through. So I'm just putting it from underneath because it's going to be easier with this tool to reach. You might want to go in from the top. Right, I'm just dry fitting because I'll be taking this apart for spray painting. But for today I kind of just want to get the dome on in situ, clean it up and make sure it's all turning and everything, and then I'll worry about taking it apart for spray painting. So I'm not even going to do the whole lot, just enough to hold it in place. I'll put an extra one in. So this is not actually the lower one I did. This is actually the old PLA Plus, whereas this is the carbon fibre PET G. I wasn't happy with the gluing of the lower skirt, so I'm going to redo it and then swap it over when I spray paint. But this should be enough for actually testing out to see what it does. Okay, so we'll notice that we've sort of got these extra bits where it's the sort of the three prongs where it's going to line up just here. So what I've just done is I've labelled them. So I've got one, you can see that. So I've got one sort of label just there, and I put one on the also the bracket on the inner thing, we're going to call that, so I know which way it's aligning. So this is going to bolt into the dome. Now if we look through, we can put a bolt straight through, and then that's going to go up into our dome itself, where it's going to fasten, where that bolt's basically going to come up and into one of these little blocks here, where we're going to put a square bracket inside there. So again, because this is only temporary, I'm going to be stripping this back down. I am just going to put only 3 in for the moment. So I'm just going to put a square nut in there. I think that's about aligned. That's fine. So yeah, just putting the square nut in, takes me back, Definitely time to invest in an electric screwdriver. As for length, I'm just grabbing one out of the toolbox that looks long enough. It's more of eyeballing really. But I don't want too long because it's going to bump into the dome on the other side. Okay, so we've got enough, like I said, it's not fully in there, but it's enough for me to do all the various tests. Okay, just a quick test. So I've got the same battery plugged in. I would say that's quite successful. I know someone asked me whether it would have enough power, but it seems to, so that's still just that same Ryobi rip-off battery going through the little motor controller. What I'm probably going to do at some point very soon is weigh the dome down with all the other pieces and see if it still moves it okay, but based on that I think it'll be fine. Okay, so now I've got the dome sort of together and on the body in a way that I'm kind of happy with. Yes, I've got a lot more work to go to actually get the dome even looking finished, but it's enough with me to play about with. So I've got the mag ring now connected. We can see how it's all clicking together. I now want to get the wiring in order so that it's a bit safe for me to experiment with as I'm modifying it. So if we have a look at our control system as it is, so we've obviously got our two speed controllers going to the left and right motor. We've got the receiver that's getting the signal from the radio controls, and that was obviously quite easy to connect together. I've then got this BT2 electronic speed controller for controlling the dome, and as you saw in my tests I used an ESP chip just to sort of practice with, but an ESP is basically an Arduino with a bit more power and not quite as user friendly. But so I've got the Arduino in the middle, and what this is going to do is it's going to receive the signal from a receiver. So I'm just going to connect some pins from the receiver to the Arduino, and then that Arduino is going to go to the BT2 thing. The code for this is really simple, and I will share this in due course. Obviously you might want to go a different route. Now, as I've said, I'm not actually going to use an Arduino. I'm going to use an ESP compatible. This is a PCB that I've already made. I've used this for a bunch of other smaller Droid projects. It's got the ESP in the middle. I've got a DF player so I can play MP3 files. I've got a connector so I can plug this straight into some sort of low-cost USB powered speakers. And like I say, I'll be able to hook up these pins directly to these pins. So it'll receive the receiver information. I'll then use these wires to connect to the speed controller so I can rotate the dome. This also means I'll be able to write some code that allow it to accelerate slowly and then maybe even slow down gradually, or sudden stop if we need it to. And that bit sort of code I will play about with. In time, the other advantage of this is I'll be able to hook up a few more servos for maybe, or even the NeoPixels, so I can control the flow of the lights. There's more I can do by having an ESP in the middle. So what I've done, and I've already sort of done this as a prototype, is I sort of took this rough layout, I measured these components, and I went into Tinkercad. So as I said, I wanted to make a prototype bracket to sort of hold these components together. Traditionally I've used an IKEA cutting board, and yes, other people using the Mark IV R2 have put a board at the very back of the body, so when you open the panel it's right there in front of you, but that's not what I wanted. I wanted mine inset because I want to be able to get to the batteries quite easily and maybe anything else that I want to play with at the time. So what I did is I took I believe this is the Mark III to Mark IV ankle adapter. I literally just printed, maybe 1/10 of a mil just to act as a template, and I put that inside the body to see if these holes would fit. I then took this into Tinkercad and I just basically cut out the edges so I'd got a flat rectangle, well, a cuboid. Now if you can build with basically like 3-year-old preschool building blocks, that's all this is. I just simply used a bunch of cubes and cylinders to make this shape around those holes, and then a bit more playing about, again using approximate measurements. I made an approximate layout so that I could put the speed controllers there, the receiver, the ESP controller board, and this is where the BT toolbox will go. And these are just some holes in preparation for possibly running some cabling through. Again, this is very much a prototype. It's just see if I get the feel right, the gravity point of it right, and then I'll make something better later. And no doubt I'll want something even bigger when I have more switches and things like powering things on and off, and maybe some voltage regulators and voltage monitors. So this is just my initial prototype to experiment with. Yes, I probably could have used an IKEA cutting board, but I didn't have one on the day I was playing about with this. So here's the approximate printout. Again, black's not always a good idea. There's the PCB board, not yet soldered up. There's my BT2 speed controller. Now I have got a bit of a problem. There's the air vents, and it sort of sits in between these because when I modelled this, I didn't actually have these yet. So I had to go off the sketches and specifications online. So I just quickly made what I thought would be appropriate to sit on. But since I'm only testing it in the house for now, I'm going to be quite up to go with it. I'm not going to be using the dome that much, generate that much heat, so I'm okay to go ahead with this. So what I'm trying to do now is start connecting things in, and I've already realised what I should have done is put some holes through that I could run some cable ties just to hold the things in, place again while I'm testing. In the end version, it'll probably have little screw down brackets that sit over it to make things accessible. And obviously I put holes in the back so I'm to run the cables out. And I'll probably need a few more adapters to actually hold the power connectors as well. But like I said, I'm sort of make it as you go along and think about it as you need it, and then adapt. You know, that's the thing I like about 3D printing. We can rapid prototype, get an idea, do it, see for real, and then try again. Okay, so I'm going to go up to the bench and start trying to connect things onto here. While I was screwing that one in, I sent another one to the printer because I'd already got it in my print history. Okay, so there we go. I've now got my little control board. It'll probably do again for prototyping and getting a feel for what I need. And apart from that circuit board, I'm not worried about that because that's not the board that's actually going in here. I was just putting there as a bit of a placeholder and just getting the initial dome working. But I've got a little board. I've got the wires coming out the back, so I'll be able to sort of connect those back up, put a mains connection cable from the main battery coming in, get a couple of switches so I can power it off, an emergency cutout relay switch. But I'm ready to put that in and then sort of get on with the coding for the dome control and get back to test driving. But I have decided I'm going to leave that there for today, so I can try and get this video out, and then over the next few evenings I will start working on putting some filler on the dome, getting it spray painted, so hopefully by next weekend I can mount a mostly finished dome, connect up all the wiring, and I shall have got a driving droid by that point, which should just leave the greeblies and nothing else, of course. So as always, if you've enjoyed any part of this, please remember to like, positive comment below, any questions more than welcome. I shall see you in the next one.